you know how that goes.
I might. Okay, what I thought we'd talk about now is video calls. What is a video call?
You mean like FaceTime on the phone?
FaceTime or
Skype
or
Zoom.
Zoom.
What's up?
WhatsApp. What's up? WhatsApp.
WhatsApp. Yeah,
WhatsApp. Yeah. I thought it was What's Up when you said that before. It's a good name, actually.
What's up?
Yeah.
And there's also Google Meet that I use in my school.
That's great. There's something called Microsoft Teams also. There's WebEx. There's a few more. I mean, I don't know all of them, but yeah. So nowadays you're using these video calls for a lot related to school, but also even in the business world, we're using video calling a lot, like Zoom I use very frequently. So I have a question for you. Do you think it's legal for the other party on your calls to videotape you without your consent?
Yes.
What do you think?
No.
Ooh, we got a debate. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but I think because like if you're in a circumstance, like for example, if you're a teacher, you have to videotape your class. I don't think the kids really have a choice. Well, they probably have a choice. It's just
I actually don't know about school, so that's a good point. But let's focus on maybe something as if everybody's adults and it's in a business context, because that I have an answer for.
Then I think you have to have a contract that you have to sign to be able to.
So you both think that you need to consent, you need to approve.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's interesting because I'm only going to discuss U.S. and Europe because there's a lot of different parts of the world with other legal implications. But it's interesting in Europe. You're absolutely right. You have to actually you have to inform people that they're being recorded. You have to tell them why there's a legitimate business purpose to record them, and get their consent. And their consent can't just be that they remain quiet and then you move on with the call. They actually have to affirmatively give their consent. Yeah. So what's an example of affirmatively giving your consent?
Well, do you guys want to? I think I'm gonna film this call. Is that okay for you guys? Yes or no?
Okay. Yeah. So and if it's no, then they would have to leave the call.
Yeah.
And if it's yes, they can do it. They can actually record that orally, or maybe they press a button of some sort. So something to that effect, or they can write in a message, "I accept." But in the U.S., it's quite interesting. The question is whether or not you can record the other party without their consent.
Okay.
Well, there's two different positions. You know, the U.S. is complex. We have federal law, and you have the laws of 50 different states.
Yeah.
But the way it works, according to federal law and 39 of the U.S. 50 states, you can record the other people without their consent.
Or without their knowledge or without their consent?
Both. You know, so long as one party, that's a very good question. But so it's called one-party consent. So long as one party to that call has consented to be recorded, and that could be the person who's doing the recording themselves, they're on the call, they're able to actually record. Seems so contrary to what you would think is okay.
So like, you know, when people hack computers and stuff, then it's illegal to film another person's call.
Absolutely. You have to be a participant in the actual call. Very good. Great questions. But then in the other 11 states in the U.S., California being one of them, it's just like in Europe that we talked about. You have to really get the consent from the people, so that.
But if you're calling somebody in California, for example, but you're in a state that allows it, what are the laws then?
And you're calling from Europe?
Or no, not
the
Europe.
State that
just
allows
a state that you can just videotape if you want to.
Yeah. So what do you mean? What?
So if California in that state, you have to like ask for consent to film people.
Yes. And so
but if you're in one of the 39 states that you're not, that you don't have to.
Yeah.
But you're calling somebody in California.
Such a good question, David. You're like lawyers that, you know. So there it's interesting because you might even have a federal law implication, but then you have the two different states as well. So you have three different bodies of law. It gets complicated. It's hard for me to say which one would actually apply here. You would, as a lawyer, you would say, since California is included and it's a conservative state where it comes to this protection of people's privacy rights, there you would want to ask for the consent and ensure that they affirmatively give their consent to be recorded. I see. But it's not clear. So it's a very good example, and this is what often happens in the States.
Couldn't you sue somebody if they did that? You
could. If somebody is violating your privacy rights, you can absolutely have a legal claim against them. And then what you're entitled to would be measured according to what recognized damages would be for that, and perhaps what the person used the recording for as well. So, but that's really all I wanted to talk about. But it's very good. So, I mean, I think the conclusion of it is to always ask for consent if you're going to record any
Yes.
kind of business call. You know, when it comes to, I think a lot of people would do that by default anyway. Ask for consent, give the reason for that.
Mm.
Make sure people affirmatively say yes.
Mm.
If they say no, they leave the call.
Yeah.
But that's it. Thank you so much for your help.
Yes. Thank
No
you.
problem.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for having me too.
Oh, thanks for, I appreciate the help. All right. We hope this was useful. Ciao. Good luck with everything.
Bye.
Take care.
Happy holidays.